Hello, hello. Welcome to MomBoss Life. My name is Karina Groombridge. I am your host, and tonight is episode 9 with Jill Volpe. I'm super excited to share her with you guys. She is a certified life coach and holistic healer. She has been working in the wellness industry for, I think, over 16 years now, which is fantastic. So I can't wait to share her story with you guys, and I think she's joined us, so let's see if I can add her. Let's see. All right, my apologies. Please bear with me while I see if Jill has joined. Jill, if you can hear me, I can't see you at the moment. The joys of technology. Oh, there you are. All right. There we go. Let's just see. Come on, tech. Thank you everyone for joining us. As I was saying, this is episode 9 of MomBoss Life, and I have Jill Volpe who is joining us very shortly. Hopefully technology will pull through and we can show up side by side here. Oh, my mommy has joined the live. Thank you for joining us, Mom. Type in a comment below, say hi. We're just waiting for Jill to join the live, although it looks like something is not working, Jill. So maybe you want to try hopping off and then hopping back on. That might help. I know I see you're here, but I was trying to add you and it wasn't working. Okay, I'm trying again. So hopefully that will do it. All right. Well, while we wait, I am super excited to chat with Jill and share you guys her story. She was at one point a stay-at-home mom and decided to go for it and start off as an entrepreneur. So she's had quite a long journey on the entrepreneur road, and I can't wait to share and find out more about how that's been going for her and how that's working with her family dynamic. And Jill, something's still not working. Oh no. Not too sure what to tell you unless you want to hop off and hop back on. Because I see that you're here on the call and I can tell that you're on your phone because it's letting me add you. Something's just not working. Oh, we got you. Hello.
Hey, sorry about that. Apparently,
That's
I needed to
okay.
give some sort of privacy something or other I had to fix.
Oh,
So,
all right.
so we're good.
That's new.
Yeah, I don't know. Something with my microphone or whatever. But I'm here and I can hear you and
Yay.
I'm excited.
Yay. So good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
This
so
is
I
so
was just,
exciting.
I know, I got you to come on live.
I know. This doesn't happen very often.
Yes. All right, good. We're stretching that comfort zone, right?
Yes, yes. You always do that
Excellent.
for me.
Excellent. That is my goal. I'm so happy. All right, so I was just saying that this is episode 9 of Mom Boss Life, and I'm super excited to talk with you and share a little bit about your story. And I know you've been in the health and wellness industry for 16 years, so I'd love to hear, more about you, more about how that's been working with your family and all sorts. So if you want to just get started by telling us a little bit more about yourself.
Well, yeah, sure. Actually, when I was reading the bio back, I was thinking, you know what? Actually made a mistake. I've actually been in the wellness industry for almost 18 years.
Oh, all
And
right.
yeah, and prior to that, I was in the corporate world. I was in banking and finance and mortgage banking. And holistic health was always kind of a hobby. I would love to read books and go to lectures and things like that, but never imagined that I would actually be doing this, for work. And to make a very long story short, one thing led to another, and it started with me studying energy healing and Reiki. And, the next thing I knew, I was doing this sort of full time. And up until a couple of years ago, it was great, and it was the perfect kind of career. As I was having my babies, and when they were little, and raising them, because I could just work around their
Mm-hmm.
schedule, or work in the evening, or schedule my appointments in the evening, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's a
And
dream, like mom work-life balance, right?
It is, but you know what? I used to teach Reiki also, and I used to teach at the University of Tennessee, and I ended up having to give that up. And one of the reasons was because of being a mom. I just couldn't get there on time. I was always running late.
Mm.
You know how that is, right? The
Yeah,
perpetual 10 minutes late for everything.
yeah. It doesn't really
And
work as a teacher, so.
no, it does not. And so I ended up having to give that up. That was my choice. I could have gotten a babysitter or something like that, but um, you know, that wasn't the right choice for us. And so, it worked out fine. And then as of a couple of years ago, I kind of just felt like something was missing with my work. Like I could only take people so far, if that makes any sense. It
Mhm.
was, people were coming to me with all these problems, stress and relationships and career, and I mean, you name it. I mean, and while the energy healing and the Reiki and the spiritual counseling that I offered was helpful, I just felt like there was more I could be giving them, more, and I didn't have what it was. I didn't know what it was. And so after some soul searching and internet searching,
Mm.
I
Yep.
came across coaching. And it was instant. Like soon as I started watching the videos and getting myself acquainted with what life coaching is all about, I was like, that's it. That's what I
Mm.
need. And so here I am, and I love what I do. Um, and yeah, so
Yay.
and again, it's a great career in that I can work around my family's obligations,
Mm.
and be able to be there for baseball games and things like that. So
No kidding. Okay,
yeah,
so I'd love to just backtrack a little.
sure.
So when you were going and making that transition, like I believe you had mentioned to me that you were a stay-at-home mom originally. Is that?
I was, but I never necessarily stopped doing my holistic work. I
Mhm.
just didn't do as much of it. So I wasn't advertising. I wasn't doing classes anymore.
Mhm.
But if people called me, or emailed me and wanted an appointment, then I would work it around my husband and the kids, and
Mm.
try to accommodate them in some way. So I was still working, but again, I wouldn't necessarily call it a job. It was more still kind of a hobby, if you will.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
A really fun hobby. So I
Um,
guess like
Really
then
fun.
so then I
Yeah.
guess it kind of like progressed naturally, kind of organically, right?
It did. It did. It was very organic, and it was in alignment with as my children got older. So I have two boys. My oldest is 12, and my youngest is soon to be 9. So, it's much, much different than when your kids are little guys, and, and you need to be there with them every single second, and, they always need you, and, that kind of thing. So I'm in a better position, parenting wise, to be
No
able
kidding.
to do what I'm doing now. Yeah.
Ah, excellent. All right. So, do you find in going and doing your coaching and your Reiki, um, do you have to give anything up to be able to do that? Because it seems like you're kind of balancing things and obviously prioritizing between family and work. But did you feel like
Hmm.
you had to give anything up in order to do the business and have the family stuff?
I don't know that I necessarily feel like I give up family stuff, but I am definitely feel like I'm busy all the time. There's always something that I should have gotten done yesterday, or or that's coming up that I need to prepare for, or just you know, a part of that's
There's always something.
There's always something. A part of that's my personality, and in that I'm meticulous about certain things and a perfectionist. Uh, yeah, so I can be hard on myself probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can you tell us more about what you do with your clients? So I know you would explain to me more about Reiki. Personally, it's not something that I guess knew much about before getting into the whole coaching and wellness industry. So can you maybe just tell our audience more about what you do with your clients and how you help serve them?
Yeah, sure. So really interesting about the Reiki. So I guess let me backtrack. So for anybody that doesn't really know what energy healing is, well, Reiki is a Japanese form of energy healing, and that's kind of what my foundation is, and I've learned other forms since then, and I kind of combine everything that I know and do based upon what my clients' needs are. So initially I thought that I had two separate services. I was having my Reiki and my energy clients, and then I was having my coaching clients. Something that very interestingly has occurred probably in the last, maybe, 4 to 6 months, not even that long ago. But what's happening is I think people are just so stressed out and they need something. They're seeking, they just want a better life. They want a better day to day. And so they're asking for both. And so I am now offering to my clients that are interested a combination session where we do 1 hour of coaching, and then we may do 30 minutes or so of a Reiki balancing session. And so it's a really nice complement. It, again, it hits the body, mind, spirit in all ways.
No
The
kidding.
The Reiki really supports the coaching because it's stress relieving, and it's when you are calm and relaxed, you can think more clearly, right? You are able to sort of tap into your creativity and your inspiration a little bit more easier, and so between that and the coaching, it works really, really nicely together. And those clients that do take advantage of that see really remarkable results. So.
Awesome. That sounds fantastic. And I guess it was kind of your clients that push you to combine the two, right? Like you originally thought that
Absolutely,
they were
yes.
separate.
No, I'm obviously not that smart because they were the ones that asked me for it. So yeah.
That's all right. That's all right. Clearly, you were meant to go in that direction. They just had to
Very
chime
much
in.
so. Exactly.
Excellent. So, can you tell us more about the energy healing? It's still not a realm that I'm super familiar with. So, how does that work exactly when you work with your clients?
With Reiki is a very light touch, hands-on healing. So it's not massage. You're not pushing on muscles or anything like that. It's just a very light touch. We have particular hand positions that we learn to work with different areas of the body. And we work a lot with the chakra system, which if you've ever taken yoga or anything like that, they often refer to our 7 main energy centers. They're located in the center of our body, and they correspond to our physical body as well as our emotions as well. So as an energy healer, when I'm working on somebody, I'm very intuitive and I can sense where there is an imbalance, or whether there's a weakness, or even if something's overactive. And so the idea is to balance those energy centers, to remove or release any energy blocks. And by doing that, you allow the body to heal itself. So it increases the function of the immune system. And Reiki, actually, there's scientific data now that shows that Reiki can regenerate tissue and bone.
Wow.
And so it's pretty
cool. That is fascinating.
And there are hospitals around the country that have Reiki programs. I was blessed to be able to participate in one myself. I lived in New Hampshire for about 18 months when I first got married 15 years ago. And I worked for a hospital in Manchester, New Hampshire, that had a volunteer Reiki program. And so I would go in once a week, and we were allowed to work on certain floors. So we would go in and we'd check in with the nurses station, and they would check with their patients to see who was interested in it. And so I often worked in oncology, labor and delivery, and the surgical floor. Those were the ones that I worked in most. So it was really cool.
That's a really great experience.
Yeah, it was. It took a lot out of me, though. Seeing some people really, really sick, that was hard. But it felt good to know I was doing something to help them feel better.
Fascinating. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So I'd love to know, are there any traits that you feel you have that have really helped you excel in this, in your business?
Well, I think that, like I said, I'm meticulous about things, and I have a very strong need for growth. And so I'm always reading, I'm always experimenting, I'm always taking classes. Probably to my detriment, almost. If I'm not careful, I'm one of those people that could just study and forget to actually apply what I'm learning.
I could see a lot of people doing that. Yes.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot better about that over the years. Yeah. So, what was your question again?
The trait.
Oh, the traits.
Yeah.
Okay. So growth oriented. Yeah. And I think to be a good coach, you just have to be a good listener. And I love listening to people and helping them. And I feel like I have a compassionate heart, and I have the ability to see many sides to a story. And now at this point, I feel like I have the strategies and the tools to really help people as well.
Yeah, no kidding. Especially with all that learning, right?
Yes. Well, you would think, right?
Yeah, exactly. Once you start applying the learning, then it makes it easier to remember.
Right. Well, and all your clients, even though they may show up with a similar problem as the next person, everybody views things differently. Everybody has a different filter. Everybody has a different background. Everybody has different values. And so while it might be a similar issue, the outcome is never similar.
Yes, very true. Yeah. So we touched on traits that have helped you succeed. Is there anything that you're aware of that, or I guess, how can I put it? Like, what have you really struggled with as far as being your own boss? Because obviously you're independent, your business is 100% resting on your shoulders. So is there something that you've struggled with going through this whole journey?
Yeah, a couple of things. So one thing, and this is in regard to, raising a family while you're trying to build a business. So, balancing everything, right? Even coming on to your podcast, I had to make sure everybody's fed, The kitchen's cleaned up, everybody's quiet, the cats are fed, there's just certain things that, that only a mom kind of takes care of, I guess. And, my first and foremost priority is my family. And so my job works around them. Whereas, for example, my husband, while we're a priority, he's the one that, leaves and goes, oop, there's my thing, to his job. So he doesn't have all the home stuff that I do, so balancing all of that, is a challenge. And then, from, I guess, just a professional standpoint, learning how to market yourself, that's probably been one of the biggest challenges for me.
Yes.
Starting my business, and I'm relatively new to the Atlanta area. We just moved here about 3 years ago. So, I'm still getting my name out there, still meeting new people. But yeah, that marketing piece has been,
it's not what you sign up for when you say I want to be a coach.
No. Yes, there are a couple of times, admittedly, I took a little bit of a temper tantrum, like, why do I have to do this? I just want to coach people.
Yes.
But
they have to find you.
They have to find me, so I have to create, I have to keep up with my website, and I have to do my blog posts, and I have to post on social media, and I have to go to networking events. So all of these things, it's they didn't tell me about that in coaching school. Well, they did, but it was at the very end. So,
yeah. Like, by the way, you're going to have to know how to do these things to actually work with people. Yes.
Yeah. And, I have a master's in business, but it was many, many years ago. And let me tell you, you're very young, so you probably haven't experienced this. But things have changed quite a bit in, in the 20 years that, that it's been for me. What I learned in my MBA program is not what I'm required to do now. So
no kidding.
Completely different. Yeah, so I've learned coaching, I've learned energy healing, and I'm learning business,
business 101, exactly.
Exactly.
No matter what you do as an entrepreneur, like, you need that business 101 if you're actually gonna make it and figure it out, how to get yourself out there to your clients.
That's right. And it's figuring it out, and it's figuring out what works for you and what is aligned with your values and your needs. Because, you can open up Facebook, and there's, you could take a webinar, every single day, more than once a day if you wanted to, and learn somebody's, theory, strategies on, making money and marketing yourself and advertising and all of that. There's so much, information overload, just like with anything else, right? But I really have found that I'm being very particular about who I follow now.
Yes,
and
I agree. I do the same.
Do you? Yeah. And not giving my time up so freely to listen to everybody else's opinion. I'm trying to figure out what fits me, what speaks to my heart, and how I want to project myself, my image, and my business.
I couldn't agree more. I've been doing the same thing, being much more aware of, who are you following, who really speaks to you. It's very important. And, like, for everybody listening now, if you're listening to like a million different things, you should probably narrow down and see, okay, who works best for you, who speaks to you. Yeah.
Right. And who fits with your lifestyle too. I can't even tell you how many like people on social media are like, watch me and I'll show you how to make, 6 figures. You'll be, making $1 million in 6 months. And, I suppose I could if I worked 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And,
Mhm.
But yeah, I think you have to pick and choose what, what your priorities are for yourself and your family and what's going to work best for you.
Yes, it's very true. So
Mhm.
I'd like to know how, like, what does a day in your life look like? So from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, like, what's a typical day look like?
Okay, so a typical day is I hit the snooze button on the alarm a few times. And then I get up and I throw sweats on. I get my youngest son up because elementary school here, he starts really early. So he has to catch the bus at 7. So I get him up, get breakfast, and get him his stuff made, get him to the bus stop. Then I come back and I have my wonderful cup of coffee. It's the
Mhm.
thing I look forward to in the morning. And I take a few minutes because at that point my other son isn't up and my husband's usually in the shower at that time. And that's just peace and quiet, just me and my kitty cats and my
Sounds
coffee.
lovely.
Yeah, and it doesn't last very long, but it's okay. But I just have those, 15, 20 minutes or so to myself to think. Um, Sometimes I'll make my list of things that I want to get done that day or errands that I might have. Sometimes I'll just, go through my email or flip through Facebook or something like that. So kind of that kind of part kind of depends. And then I will go up and take a shower and get ready for the day and then get my second son off to school. Well, he's 12. He just says later, mom, and he's out the door. Um, and
Oh, that happens
then
at 12? Oh boy.
oh gosh.
Okay.
Oh, before that.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
he's in middle school, so he doesn't care. Yeah, they'll wave to me from down the street or something like that. But
At least you get a wave. That's good.
yes, yes. um, and then I go into my office and I start my day. So I may have clients in the morning. I may have consultations. I do offer free consultations for prospective clients. So sometimes I have a couple of those. And if I'm not with my clients, I might be making notes on their files. A lot of times I think about my clients all the time, really. I mean, on and off, I may read something and I'll think of somebody. And I'll forward it to a client, or I'll be in the shower and I'll think of, oh, I need to try that strategy with them. And so I'll come downstairs and I'll just make a note in their file so that I'll remember when they come the following week to talk about that with them. Um, and then there's, blog posts and advertising and,
All that fun business 101 stuff.
yeah, mailing lists and, QuickBooks and, you know, and so I, pretty much, sometimes I will take a break at lunchtime and I'll go to the gym. That's something that I do a few times a week. Um, and then, um, and then my youngest son comes home. He gets off the bus at 2:45. So I pretty much, when he comes home, I spend some time with him doing his homework and getting him a snack and all of that. And then I may um, have clients in the evening. But if I don't, then I may do a little bit more work on my computer, and then it's making dinner and family time.
Yes.
So,
Excellent.
yeah,
And
so
so,
busy.
oh, oh, wait. And so what in there do you do for yourself? Like as far as self-care is concerned, do you have like routines or rituals that you like to stick with? I know you mentioned your morning coffee, which definitely sounds like
Hmm.
a lovely little bit of time just for you.
Yes,
Do you have
yes.
anything else that's like a mandatory you must include, like to make yourself
Um,
feel good?
okay. Let me think. So, I mean, if I get keeping myself going to the gym, that makes me feel good if I can get there a few
Hmm.
times a week. Um, if not, we have a treadmill downstairs in our basement, so I'll try to, if I can walk on that, I'll try to do that. Sometimes in the evenings while I watch TV or something like that. Um, And the only other ritual that I can think of that I do maybe consistently is I love to read before I go to sleep at night. And I try not to read nonfiction because then it sort of wakes me up because I start thinking
Mm.
about, work and how it applies and all of this. So I just try to read fiction books, and I love that feeling of your eyes starting to close when you're reading,
Oh,
you know.
really? Usually that follows suit with me getting hit in the face with a book. I'm sure I can't be the only one. It's a big
And
sign
then,
saying you're done. It's
right,
time for
you're
bed.
done. Even though you've got like one eye open, it's just I
Yeah.
just want to finish this paragraph. Not
Mm-mm.
happening.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Okay, so I'm curious. I guess for coaching, you probably could, but do you work with all of your clients online? Or I guess, is it possible to work with your clients online? Or do you just take clients in person? How does that work?
Oh, no. I mean, I would say probably most of my clients are local, and so they come to my home office. But I have worked with people over FaceTime Messenger
Yeah.
um, and Skype, and I've worked with people in other countries. And I have also done video calling like that with clients who have, like, are traveling for work, and we can't have our regular session, but they're like in a hotel room or
Hmm.
something like that, or they go to a park, and we'll still be able to keep on schedule, so to speak, if they want
Nice.
to. So
Okay.
we don't have to miss a session. So yeah, so it's great. Yeah, I love the video calling, and
Is
I
that
think
with
it
Reiki
works.
and coaching, or like just one, or
Well,
just the
no,
other?
actually, right. It can only work with people that are just strictly coaching clients. You
Okay.
really can't do that. You can't do the Reiki. You can do Reiki long distance. That's a whole other. That's a
Another
whole
realm.
other podcast we'll do. But yeah, I haven't yet incorporated the long distance Reiki with
Okay.
coaching just yet.
Okay,
So
excellent.
yeah.
So for anyone watching, first of all, if you have any questions for Jill or I, please type them below. Let us know where you're watching from. Uh, write replay if you're catching the replay, and just we want to hear from you. We want to see
Yeah, definitely.
who you are, where you're coming from. So, on that note, Jill, if there's someone out there watching who wants to get a hold of you and work with you, how can they go and do that?
Okay, well, there's a few different ways. So I have a website, very simple, jillvolpe.com. So you can get in touch with me through the website. You can also, there's several buttons located throughout the website where you can go ahead and book a complimentary clarity session. So that is a 30-minute phone call between you and we talk about what's important to you, what challenges you're facing, and we kind of identify what your goals are and see if coaching is a good fit for you. It's a really easy, casual conversation, and it's just really nice because it kind of breaks the ice, and I get to know my clients a little bit better, and I know how I can help them.
Excellent.
So my website, and then I also have a Facebook business page, and that's Jill Volpe Coaching and Healing. And I can put all of this in the comments below,
Yes. Yes,
right?
I
Okay.
exactly.
Okay. Good. Um, and yeah, so I'm on LinkedIn as well, so that would be another way that you could reach me, and that's Jill Volpe Coaching. So those three.
All right. Excellent. So,
Yeah.
just to wrap up, I'd love to know, do you have like a top three things that you like to discuss or do with your clients that you're willing to share with us now?
I do, and I wrote it down.
Oh, excellent.
Okay, so if it's okay if I use my notes.
Of course, of course.
So top three tips. So I kind of narrowed it down, and these are communication tips, if you will. I work with a lot of people, a lot of women who, often come to me and are just not quite sure how to best communicate their needs, whether it be with their spouses or significant others or bosses or coworkers or something like that. So I identified 3 different kind of communication tips that are really simple. So I'd love to share it with the audience. So tip number 1 is if someone says something to you or makes a comment to you that makes you feel uncomfortable or challenges you in some way or makes you upset or angry, one of the quickest ways to sort of diffuse the situation is to actually thank them. Thank them for caring so much. Thank them for letting you know that perhaps you may have said or done something that offended them, or like I said, thank them for caring enough to offer their advice, even though it may not have been solicited. And you could just say something like, thank you, but I'm really happy where I'm at, or, thank you for caring about me, or thank you for thinking of me, but I'm really good. And that just, it's very hard for people to continue coming at you when you are so respectful and kind and gracious. Okay.
Excellent.
So
I
that's
like that.
tip number 1. So tip number 2 is, and this is more partners or marriages, relationships, that kind of thing. Communication tip number 2 is to ask your partner, how can I support you? So a lot of times when our partners are stressed, or I always tell my husband, like, you're grumpy today, but then in my next breath, I say, well, what can I do to help you? How can I support you? Is there something, he works from home too, so we see each other a lot. And
a lot.
It's a lot. And it's really nice because we get to share so much, and sometimes we have lunch together and we'll have our morning coffee together sometimes, but sometimes it's too much, and he's got his work, and he things happen in his day, and so by me just asking him how I can help or how I can support him makes him feel appreciated. And sometimes he takes me, most of the time he doesn't, but sometimes he takes me up on the offer and he says, would you mind inputting this into the computer for me, or something like that. And so, if it's something that I can spend 10 minutes doing and it's going to take pressure off of him, why not? So,
excellent.
And he does that for me too. So that's a really good tool to use. And then the third one is, if you have to talk to a friend, a boss, a coworker, if you have to talk to anybody that you have some sort of conflict with, it's the best way to come at that is to express yourself from a place of I. Okay, so
yes.
It's I feel this way. I need this. And when you say it that way, you kind of take away any blame or guilt, and it's a very respectful way to address something, to address someone, I should say. So you're talking about your feelings. You're not making it about anything that they did wrong. It's about, I need this, or I would like to share this with you. And for the person that's actually saying that, is very empowering as well, right? To be able to speak your truth, and do it without complaining or whining, but to do it within your power. It feels good, and it will be received so much better.
Oh yes, I absolutely love that one. That's a really good one. I feel
Thank
like
you.
if everyone should be applying that, that'd be really great for communication
Yes.
all over.
Yes, I find myself giving that tip to almost every coaching client.
I could see
you
that.
know, because it's very, well, I mean, you know, when you're in a conflict, it's very easy to just quickly respond and to blame it on
Mhm.
the other person, or just to get caught up in the energies and the heated exchange. But when you really stop and think about, what do I need from this situation, and then tell them,
Key point,
you
tell
know,
them.
right, tell them,
Yeah,
then you know, then you're more apt to have some sort of resolution or negotiation, even, right, for a better outcome.
very true. All right. Well, thank
So
you so much for sharing. That was awesome. Hopefully,
thank
everyone can
you.
take that away, take that little piece of information and go and apply that today. That'd be amazing. So that brings us to the end of our episode. So once again, Jill, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for
Oh,
sharing
thank you.
your story and helping our audience. So for anyone who's watching, if you have any comments or questions, even if it's on the replay, drop them below and we will circle back around to make sure they are all answered. And yes, please go reach out to Jill, see how she can go and help you to improve your life. And yes, have a wonderful evening, everyone. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Jill.